Hello there. Thanks for coming to the luncheon today. I guess we'll be televised. So once again, it is July. We can feel it in the room. So the first things we'll get started with, thanks once again for coming. Special event, or at least an acknowledgement, is Crystal Braun with Marks Gay got the Florida Super Lawyer 2018 Intellectual Property. Is Crystal here? Oh, there she is. And she also, every Thursday, it seems, at least on today, she sends out her email. How many of you get her email? Okay. Well, that's good. The ones that don't, Crystal, you need to hand out your cards and get them on the list. So, okay, we're going to move on because we have a great panel, and so we're going to get started. We're going to have some of our committee chairs give us updates, and one of them would be Mr. Ken Smith on the bowling tournament. Mr. Smith. Are you here? There you are.
All right, thank you, Adam. Bowling. I hope everybody has August the 23rd, 2018 on their calendars for our bowling tournament. Networking at 5 o'clock. Bowling starts at 6. Bowl America, San Jose Boulevard, about a half mile north of I-295 off San Jose Boulevard. I want to thank, first of all, our One-to-One Financial as our banner sponsor. And David is not here. Thank you anyway, David. A lot of fun. Bowling. Amateur bowling, strictly amateur bowling, food, cash bar, will be a lot of fun there. Yeah, amateur cash bar. We have some sponsorship opportunities that are still there for lane sponsors, food sponsors, etc. See Nancy for that and get some extra advertising. We have several nice door prizes already lined up so far. Gift cards, gift baskets, picnic baskets, golf clubs, facial treatments, personal training sessions, restaurant gift certificates, ocean wave sunglasses. Those are $200. 4-hour boat tour, which is around $400. We do need very much $15 and $25 gift cards. We need 5 of those each. And we don't expect anyone in here to come up with all 5, but if you can come up with 1 or 2, we can add them together. We need those, otherwise we're in good shape on the prizes and then auction items. We have commitments for, I think, 10 or 12 bowling teams already. Thank you to the captains that have set those up. We can always use more. Let's shoot for 15. It's easy to sign up this year. Just go to SBRN.org. And on the opening screen, the link to sign up for the bowling tournament is right there. So stop on the opening screen. Do not click on the already a member. You'll jump off that screen. Let's see. What do you have this? Oh yeah. If you're not a bowler, come anyway. That's for $35. You get to attend the whole thing, be part of the event. Participate in all the activities, and you'll have a good time. And I would like to recognize Casey Paget. Casey, are you here? I thought I saw you here earlier. Casey here? There's Casey. Casey has already lined up 8 door prizes or auction items for our group today, including the $200 ocean wave sunglasses and the $800 boat tour. So if you have questions about the tournament, please see Nancy or see me after the meeting. We'll fill you in. And I'll take another couple of seconds to tell you we have some of these gifts are Kilwin's gift baskets, Waddell and Reed barbecue basket, Salt Life $50 gift card, First Coast massage, a 1-hour massage, Empower Your Fitness, 2 training sessions, acupuncture session, Auburn gift basket, a rescue golf club in case you need to be rescued out there on the golf course, Jack's Beach Dentistry, a teeth whitening. Cal Hazeman has come up with a medical spa gift certificate. Brewhounds is offering a 1 year's membership. Cole Haynes has a gift card. The Burrito Gallery a gift card. Jack's Boat Tours, Flame Broilers, Wine Warehouse, and it goes on. And we have several that I don't have a list of, but I know they're coming. So it's going to be a great event. It's going to be our 9th one, and looking forward to seeing you all there.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you. Okay. Our next on the is Mr. Doug Wilder. He's going to talk about marketing.
Hello, hello, hello. In marketing, we are doing what this year? Marketing. Okay, thank you. Videos. Thank you, videos. And we are now proceeding with creating 3 videos. So just keep your eyes open. And good things are going to be coming because they're going to be not just educational, but entertaining and inspirational. So we're suggesting that everybody be thinking along those lines too for your own videos, and just keep your eyes open for the future.
Okay, thank you very much, Doug. Okay, and on membership, Sue Miller is going to fill us in on membership and the things happening with that.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Want to take a moment here, if I can find Nancy's papers, to welcome all of our new members. Austin Hamilton with Heekin Litigation Group. Peter Crucy, P410 Group, LLC. Dennis Lott, St. John's Asset Management. George Martin with Co-Advantage. Blake Massey, Waddell and Reed. Kimberly Morgan, Clay County Board of County Commissioners. Stephanie Thomas Klodzinski with Regions Bank, and I know I just totally butchered that. Curry Workman with Florida Business Development Corp. And then we also want to thank our renewing members in June. Andrew Glazier with Glazier & Glazier. Stephanie Helburn, ECS Florida LLC. Want to thank Navy Federal for renewing my membership. Louisa Roosman with Box Meta, Gary Smith with Merrill Lynch, and Jeff Wilkie with Easy Step Solutions. The other thing I wanted to mention to you all is Membership Committee is having a membership drive for August, September, and October. So we want everybody to think about getting new members to come in. You have to have at least bring in 2 new members to be eligible for the prize. First prize is going to be a free membership for the following year. Second prize, and I'm going by my memory here, so I hope I did this correctly. Second prize is a free web ad. And then third prize would be a free lunch. So start thinking about who you're going to bring to our meetings, to our socials, to the bowling tournament. That is going to be a good fit for us, and that will join. We will announce the winners at our December luncheon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Sue. Okay. One of the other things, we'll talk about guest introductions. So we'll go from table to table. I don't think we have guests over at this table. No, we don't. Front table. No, we don't. Sue, your table. Okay, thank you. Steve, back there? Members, I think. Okay. Blake, back at your table. Any guest? Yeah, no. Okay, thank you for coming. We done back there? Okay. Cal, it's your table. Okay. Okay. Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself. Okay. Okay, well, welcome. Okay. Our next thing, okay, so the next thing is we'll do member thanks, and this is where you have an opportunity to thank somebody either for a referral or work you've done with them, and I'll get it started off. I'm going to thank Adam Gregory for providing us a great scanner that we got to test drive quite a bit, and I think we put it through the paces, and the service and the support was really great. So that's a rather long one, but I take privilege here. So we'll move on. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, I would like to thank Bert Livingston and Joanne Reinhardt for thinking of me for referral. And I'm always forgetting somebody here, Amy Dawson.
Okay. Scott?
I would also like to thank Bert Livingston for several referrals recently.
Okay. Adam?
I'd also like to thank Adam and his company for the business. I'd also like to thank Smitty. He's helping me on some research for the company, so thank you.
Okay. Janice? Oh, wonderful. Okay. I can't see that far back. Yes. Yeah, Larry. Okay. Okay. Crystal.
Thanks Scott Glazier and Andrew Glazier for bringing me in to advise them and helping them avoid litigation with the client, and I think we will avoid it.
Excellent. That's great. Miss Napier.
I'd like to thank Scott and Andrew Glacier as well for an opportunity. Thank you.
Okay. The Glacier duo is really knocking it out of the park here. Dave.
I don't see Mark Addington here, but I'd like to thank Mark Ashton for sending me a referral this week.
Okay. Jeannie?
I can thank Matthew Hannigan and the SBDC for a referral. We have a closing on the tilted foot location on Wednesday of next week, so it's a big success.
Okay, great.
And a big surprise.
Okay, Smitty?
I want to thank, I know they're not here, the only one with the management I've been working with the summer elementary school project, and one stepping to the plate to help sponsor a few others, so I want to thank them for doing that. And their need for a boat, which I'll probably have after.
Okay. Sue?
I'd like to thank Scott Glazier for taking a few minutes this afternoon to help me with a personal issue. Thank you very much, Scott, and Crystal for passing on another name to me that might be able to help me as well.
Okay.
So it's not all about business. We need to meet.
Do you need billing information for Sue? Scott, I can handle that for you. Jessica?
I'd like to thank Steve Price for doing some recent business with me, and also Mark and Tim for having a new client on the ADP with their firm.
Cal?
I want to thank Steve Price for a referral and Matt Hubbard for a referral.
Okay. And I also want to thank George Martin for a referral that he gave to me. Anyone else? We got everything covered? Oh, go ahead, Adam.
I would also like to thank Cal for helping me. We recently sold our Atlanta division of
Okay.
our company, and Cal was a big help to me getting that process started, so I want to give a big shout out to him.
Hey.
All right, Cal.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess we've done that, and you were already standing up, Adam. You might as well get back up because Adam Gregory is our meeting sponsor, and well, meeting sponsor is you get to do an extra long commercial, and you also get to put your collateral material on the table, and you also get named, so you can see him down there under Advanced Business Systems. And I don't know, what's our stand for sponsors for the balance of the year?
We have a couple of openings.
Okay, so if you're interested in being a sponsor, contact Nancy. So, Adam, come on up.
Thank you all very much. I'm going to start this. I thought a lot about what to say, and I thought, okay, these people are not coming to eat dinner or lunch to hear about feeds and speeds about copy machines and things like that. I don't want to bore you to death, but I'm going to start you with 2 words. And those words is 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And I want you to keep that in your head, and we'll come back to that. First, I want to thank SBRN. This is a great group. Everyone here I've really enjoyed getting to know. Nancy has been a doll, a charm, whatever you want to call her, and how she's helped me get involved with the group. I've picked up some customers from this group, and I'm really thankful and appreciative of that. I guess the best way to describe my company is to give you a testimonial. We do handle copy machines, commercial copy machines, fax machines, which are kind of going away, scanners. We do a lot of cloud work with people, scanning into the cloud software. We work with CPAs, attorneys, you name it, we're working with them. But just a testimonial, we have a client that I'm actually going to meet with this afternoon, and this just gives you kind of an idea of our capabilities and what we can do. They are a real estate agent over off of San Jose Boulevard, and we went in there and met with them, and they have 2 large Konica Minolta copy machines. They were paying about $600 a month for those machines, not including service. We went in there and put them 2 bigger 70-page-a-minute machines, Xeroxes in there, for $298 a month. So that's what we bring to the table. One thing I've learned about Jacksonville since I've been back here, I was in the military here for 4 years, moved to Atlanta, started my business there. One thing I have learned about Jacksonville is it's a big city with a small town feel. And a lot of the copier people in this city have had their hands in the pot for a long, long time. So we've kind of stepped into this market, approaching it from a different avenue, looking at it from cost savings effectiveness instead of just more solution effectiveness. So we ask that you give us a shot. If you know anybody, refer us to them. So back to the 2 minutes. Nancy gave me 2 minutes to speak today. Adam gave me 2 minutes to speak today. Okay? 2 minutes is what it would take for you to send me an email and let me look at what you're paying. 2 minutes is what it would take for you to visit the website, www.goabsinc.com. 2 minutes is what it would take for you to call me and ask me to come out and evaluate what you're spending, because you would believe how many people sign a contract on a commercial copier, cloud solutions, they sign it, their prices get increased every year, and they don't even pay attention to their invoices. So all we're asking for is those 2 minutes. So we hope when you get 2 minutes, you'll reach out to Advanced Business Solutions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adam. And we might even give you 3 minutes next time. So, all right. I am going to actually let you guys enjoy your lunch for a few minutes. We are going to be starting up at 12:30. So that gives you maybe about 12 minutes for everybody to introduce themselves around the table. And we're going to be live streaming the panel, okay? So that means that I need to ask all of you to not have any chatter at the tables while the panel's on, okay? Because the microphones might pick up that background noise. So it's an experiment. We're going to see how it goes, but, you know, you can go to the YouTube channel at a later date and, you know, pull it up or whatever. So enjoy your lunch. There's a table captain at each table except Jessica. I'm going to make you the table captain at your table. Okay? So enjoy your lunch, and we will reconvene at 12:30. Can I have your attention, everybody? Okay, let's come together. Once again, thank you for coming to the July SBRN meeting. I am going to once again turn the podium over to our fearless leader, Adam Robinson. So let's give him a nice round of applause.
Okay, so now we've going to do our panel, and this is on social media. So the first thing I'm supposed to do is introduce our 3 people that are going to be on the panel. And we will start with, we'll go Kim Deas. She is going to be on the panel, and she is she's a former owner of an international marketing company and a marketing consultant in Jacksonville. She is has the Murphy business franchise, and so welcome, and you're up. And then our next one is Elizabeth Pamalone, and she does web design world over 17 years ago. She did that when she was 4, is when she started, and that she is known as the Queen of Jacksonville Networking. So, very good. And our third person is Blake Stockton, and Blake Stockton is with the SBDC. So he has worked with over 500 business owners. He has been a speaker with us in the past. So I've truncated those bios because I think it's more important for them to tell us all the stuff they know. So let's go ahead and get started. And we will pass the microphone.
Well, welcome. Thank you for having lunch with us. I'm glad you took some time out of your day to come down here. I'm going to go ahead and start the panel off, and so thank you for being here. My section is going to be about social media myths. So how many of you have a personal social media account? All right. How many of you have a business social media account? All right. So, and when I say social media, it's a very broad term. So it can be anything from Facebook to Twitter. I'm sure you've heard these words thrown around. Instagram, Snapchat. There's lots of them out there. And I actually came across a Forbes article, which you can find online, and it was about social media myths. And I actually believe a lot of these are false, and so they were kind of giving their take on it. And I tell my clients this all the time, so it was perfect. The first one I wanted to talk about is that everyone is on social media, and that you have to be on every social media network to make your business successful in marketing. And that's absolutely not true. When you pick a social media network for your business, you definitely want to look at your demographic. You need to go back to your business plan. You have a business plan, right? Okay. You need to go back to that because that's going to tell you who your people are. And if you don't know that or your business plan isn't telling you that, that's the first thing. And once you have that, you can actually choose the right social media. So there is a demographics list for social media accounts. How many people are on Twitter? Who are they? How long they spend on Twitter? Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, they all have the same demographic breakdown so you can see online. If you're not familiar with some of these, I'll give you an example. Instagram is mostly young women under 35. If your brand really caters to that market, you should have an Instagram account. If your brand really caters to young men under 35, you should be on Twitter, not Instagram. So there are lots of different things that kind of break down each social media platform. And if you go to Google and you type in demographics, social media, and you put the year in, it's going to actually give you a couple of websites. The first one is usually the best. It has a breakdown of all of this stuff that I'm telling you. It also tells you who's on Facebook, how long they're spending on Facebook. The average person who has a Facebook account spends about 20 minutes on Facebook every day. So for you to be able to capture someone's attention as part of that 20 minutes, that's huge. Now, Facebook posts kind of expire after about 90 minutes. They pretty much aren't seen after about 90 minutes after you post them. But a Pinterest post has what's called a half-life of 156 days. So that post gets a lot more longevity than a Facebook post in 90 minutes. So those are just some things about being on different social medias, why you would be on different social medias, who you're actually reaching with those things. But you should not be on every single one because that's not necessarily where your people are. So find out who your people are and then look up demographics for social media and then find out which 2 or 3 you should be on. So that's the first myth. Does that make sense to everybody? Pretty easy, right? This isn't rocket science. It seems like it, but it's not. So a lot of people think that the second myth is that it can't be done in-house. You need a firm to do this for you, to do the social media stuff, to do the ads. I actually believe the opposite of that. I am a firm, and we do this for people, but I also believe that business owners and businesses should be empowered and should be trained and taught this stuff. So that's what I do. I consult a business, and I train their people so that they can do this stuff in-house. And then if they need help with something else, I'm there to, to help them. But I don't like it when someone is so attached to one company. Like, well, they do all my social media. If they stopped, I don't know what I would do. I like the company to be empowered and have their staff even doing it for them or themselves, because there's a way a single business owner can do this on their own as well. The third myth is that you have to spend hours and hours every single day doing this. How many of you have hours a day to spend on social media? I know, you just got tons of hours just lying around. You just pick them off and use them, right? So that's a huge myth. A lot of things, like I said, Facebook post only has 90 minutes of longevity. Okay, so now every 90 minutes you should be posting, right? No. So there's a lot of ways you can create consistent material for your social media accounts. In a one-time shot, they're starting with, okay, I'm going to create 6 months of posts, and then every time something cool happens, I'm going to post again. And there's just different ways you can structure it and set it up, but it depends on your business, and it depends on your people, and it depends on which platform you're using. But there is no rule that says you have to spend hours and hours and hours every day doing this stuff. There are people like me who do that, but there are also business owners who can do it differently for their business. So that's one of the myths. All right, I have a couple more. Number 4 is that social media is your broadcast channel. So if you think about TV, is TV very interactive? Not really, not yet anyway, right? There's no smell-o-vision or anything like that. So you have your TV and they talk at you. They broadcast out and you receive it in, and when you're done, you turn it off. Well, social media is very interactive. It is a conversation. It is not necessarily you just going, hey, we're doing this, and hey, we're doing this, and hey, we're doing this, and then not expecting anything back. Social media is where you say, okay, everybody in my audience, I'd like to ask you, which is best, socks with sandals or not socks with sandals? And you're going to get some response on that, whether it has anything to do with your business or not. We actually had the discussion at our table, and it was quite enlightening. And so if you put something like that on your social media, what kind of dog do you have? I had a social media analyst. She has her Facebook page, and she put that on her Facebook post. What kind of dog do you have? That was it. People were posting pictures and saying, well, I have this kind of breed that was mixed with this kind of breed, and I have one of those doodle dogs. She had all these tons of responses, hundreds of responses. When she posted a sales post, 3 responses, 40 likes. This dog post, hundreds of likes, hundreds of responses. So finding out what your people like and what they're interested in and what they'll respond to can also help you tailor your sales content to them as well. So it's not a broadcast channel. It's something where you can get their opinion. People always say, okay, well, I'm going to put out this service. I'm going to put out this, new thing I'm doing. Ask them. They'll tell you whether they like it or not. You'll know right away. All right, 3 more. So social media presence can replace your website. Thank you, Mary. You shook your head quite emphatically. I could hear it rattling. You're like, no. It cannot replace your website. And if you need to ask anybody that question or want to know more about that, definitely talk to Mary because she knows this for sure. But it's something that is supposed to be in addition to. It's not something else you're supposed to have to do. Oh, I got to do social media now, and I got to do my website, and I got to do all these things. It's supposed to support your website. When you go to a Facebook page or you see a Facebook post, it's supposed to support something else. It's supposed to take you to somewhere else. Where do the sales actually happen? Through the phone or through your website specifically, so that they can actually get to a person to have that conversation, or to get to a sales page where they can actually be converted. And so that's what Facebook is supposed to do, is drive them to those conversion points, not to be the be-all, end-all of your marketing. All right, 2 more. Blogging is a waste of time. No, it's not. How many times have you looked up, how do I find out my Wi-Fi password on my Windows 10 computer? Because I forgot. How do I change out my mouse on my computer? How do I, if you're asking your computer anything, you're probably going to get a blog post. I actually had to look up, how do I install a vent hood range? Because we just bought a house and there wasn't one. So things like that, I found blog posts that tell me those things, because someone who had the knowledge about this stuff, they wrote a post step by step, and Google found it for me and showed it to me. So something that you know about, that you can tell someone step by step, is really going to have a big impact on your website, that more people are going to find it because Google's going to catalog it and say, next time somebody asks that question, I'm going to show them this post. So taking your knowledge and putting it into post form, don't make them too long, please, is going to really help your business. And then the last one is that social media is a replacement for in-person networking. Can I get a big laugh for that? Come on, that's silly. That's just silly. And a lot of people think that social media is, having an impact on our society and all this stuff, and that's why they try to stay away from it. And I think social media is a tool, just like all other things are a tool. Cars are tools. Social media is a tool. Your website is a tool. There are lots of things we use that can be harmful, and we can use them in really good ways as well. And I think social media is one of those things. If you use it wisely and you find someone to be in your corner to maybe help you navigate some of these things that go with social media, then I think you'll have a really good success with it, and it can be really, really helpful for your business. So I hope these myths have helped you. I'm going to pass it over to Blake now, and we're going to take questions at the end. So if you have a question, write it down, put it in your phone, and then we'll answer them at the end. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm actually going to get up and walk around a little bit, just to move around. Thanks. That was some really great information. And, I was thinking, as you were talking, I was thinking about that. How many years has it been since we've had a new social media platform? Hasn't it been about at least 7 or 8 years? Yeah, it's been a while. So we've had the same platforms for a really long time, but within those platforms, they've done a lot of innovation, right? And one of those innovations is live video. Has anyone ever done a live video before? We got a handful. Were they on Facebook? Facebook Live? Did you want to do them, or were you coerced into doing them? It was on YouTube. So I've done I'm going to talk for about a few minutes about Facebook Live, and I've done a handful myself. I've done about 12, but I had a really unique opportunity about a month ago. I went to a Social Media Day conference in Jacksonville. There's about 400 people there. It was a really good turnout. There's some really great speakers, and the workshop I went to was on video, and the speaker for the first hour and a half was a live video coach who works with corporations and who's worked with several well-known marketers. She helped them set up their whole studio, helped them create their content, grow a following, things like that. It's more in-depth, but I got a lot of good information that I wrote down. So what I'm going to pretty much do is just share some of that information about live video, about what's working, and you can take with it as you will and do with it as you want. But her name was Luria Petrucci. And like I said, she's pretty much a live video coach. And, I guess the first thing I want to, comment on is why do live video, right? Why do a live video versus a recorded video? What's the benefit? Why would you do that? And I guess the main thing, and I kind of knew this, but she reiterated it, was that live videos bring out a certain authenticity that recorded videos can't. If you do a recorded video, you could say a line 10 times so you get it perfectly, and you could do 50 lines and string those together and make this recorded video, which is how a lot of recorded videos are made when you see those quick jump cuts. But live video, it's just you going. It's just talking. You're just going for it. And another aspect is the interaction with the live video as well. You can do your live video and have an interaction with your audience and who you're speaking with. So those are really the two main benefits, authenticity and interaction with your audience live on camera is pretty much the two benefits of live video. And much of her talk was about, everyone in the room was marketers and several of them were already doing video, so a lot of it was some more technical information, so I'm going to skip over some of that. But one of her main big points is she develops shows with live video. So she helps people develop a weekly show. And I think if you're doing a video strategy, then a weekly show is really important because that consistency is important because you want people to show up. You can't just sit there and talk to yourself, but yeah, you can, and that's fine too because you can still do a lot with that video. That might be a good strategy for you, especially if you're developing new ideas for yourself. But the live video, when you do it consistently every Wednesday, every Monday, every Friday, whenever it is, then people can start to look forward to it, understand when you're going on, and can log in and watch you and have that interaction. Another really interesting thing she said was that the peak ROI, the peak viewership and interactivity on a live video is, a lot of people say, keep it under a minute, keep it under 3-5 minutes. The peak is 20 minutes in. So 20 minutes in, you're going to have your peak viewership and interactivity. So that's something to think about as far as how you extend that. But one of the things I wrote down with the notes was actually a list of a show flow, she calls it. And a lot of the show flow isn't just you sitting there talking. A lot of it is interacting with the audience, asking questions, kind of like social media where you make that post, but it's live. It's happening right then and there. So a lot of that with live video and successful live video has that interactive component. And I'll talk about a couple on-camera tips, and then we'll wrap up. Video takes away, and I've heard this by several people, and I think just through my own experience is true, is that video takes away about 30% of your energy. So that's one of the reasons why I think you see a lot of videos and they kind of feel a little boring, is because whatever your personality is, whatever your energy is, you got to increase it by a third because the camera's going to take it away. So a lot of times what happens when you're doing the videos, you're feeling a little crazy. The people recording you are probably thinking you're crazy because you're bigger, you're louder, you're talking faster, you're going up and down. So to make your videos less boring, increase that energy. Try to feel, you'll feel it. You'll feel a little crazy and keep doing that and see how it turns out. And the last thing is if you have trouble warming up and getting in front of that camera, her big tip, because she works with a lot of executives as well, like corporations, executives are not very comfortable on video, is to do something fun before. Don't just sit there all looking at your notes like a statue. She recommends because these are marketers who are working with a lot of these folks, but she said bring in a ball. Just toss a ball around and every time you catch a ball, say a new color or a new type of car. Get some flow going, tell some jokes, have some fun with it so you're not like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm nervous. Get out of your head a little bit. There's a lot of improv games you can do that as well. You can Google that to learn more about those. But if you're feeling nervous and a little stiff, that was kind of a good tip I didn't hear any before. Have some fun before you actually go on the video and have some more fun, right? All right, well, that's some of those tips I heard, and I'm really interested to hear any questions on any video other than live. If you have any, I'd be happy to answer those.
Awesome, thanks, Blake. I wanted to make sure to talk about something really practical that every single one of us could do after we leave today. So fair enough. I'm going to go through a quick set of slides on Google reviews. How many of you have given a Google review before? How many of you realize how stinking difficult it is to actually try to give a Google review? Have you realized that? Google doesn't make it easy to do reviews. But do you want to guess what one of the biggest golden nuggets that your clients are looking for when they look for you online is? Google reviews. Google reviews, think of Google reviews as a little gold mountain. And every time you get a review, it just builds your mountain, and it builds your mountain, and it builds your mountain, and it builds your mountain. It's the one thing that your clients, if you do this, they will be singing your praises, and new clients will look to that and come to you more frequently. So I want to go through Google reviews for you. I think it's probably one of the most powerful things online. I guess technically it's a social media because it's sharing, it's just on that edge. But let me go through this. I'm going to give you, and you'll have access through Nancy to these slides. I don't have a lot of time, so I am going to go through it fairly quickly. I don't expect you to take down every one of these notes, but I want you to walk away with the big nuggets. The first thing is, how do you get a Google review? Because they are so stinking difficult, it's hard to find you to give you a review. Google does not make it easy, which is why they are so golden and so important. I send an email. After I close a transaction or I've done something for somebody, I send them a quick email and I ask for it. So simple email, I want to ask you a huge favor, would you write me a Google review? All you have to do is click on the link. You'll need to leave the review from a Google address. Again, thank you, it's a huge help, and let me know how else I can help you. I make sure to consistently ask for these, and my goal is to try to get one review a month. On one review a month, every year, I typically pick up about 12 new reviews. So right now I'm sitting at, I think, 42 reviews or something like that. So if you find them, the way you find reviews, I just Googled my name. Now, if you're lucky enough you're in an industry where you're the only one, you could Google that industry and you would show up on the right side. And that's where your reviews show up. So you see, and I don't have a laser here, but you'll see here when I took the screenshot, I had 42 five-star reviews. So people can see that I've been reviewed. And this alone helps them to build credibility. Now, are they going to go to my Facebook and check me out there? Probably. Are they going to LinkedIn? Most likely. They might even check me out on Twitter as well. But this is the first place they're going to find me. And this is my first point of credibility. So I highly recommend that you get your reviews. But now that you asked for the email, you got to set this up first. There's no point in me telling you you have to get reviews if you haven't set this up. Now, if you work for a larger company like an ADP or in a bank, you may have to have them set those up, and they may not be as effective for individuals that work in larger companies. As an attorney or an accountant or a service provider, what I did with my company, even though I own Murphy Business and Financial Services, I did not do my reviews as Murphy Business and Financial Services. What my review is Business Broker Jacksonville - my name. The reason I did that intentionally is so that every broker in my team can set up their own set of reviews. And now I make sure that they get the credibility. So attorneys can do this. They can certainly do business law attorney or Glazier and Glazier - Scott Glazier. You can do a specific person. You don't have to do just for the company. That's one of the biggest mistakes that companies make, or sales forces make, where they have their sales team. They can put the individual there. It just takes a little more work to set it up. So let's talk about setting it up. Maybe we'll talk about, that highlights the review. So when you click on that, it'll take you here to write the review. And this is where they actually write the review. Now, they are going to have a Gmail account, and they have to be logged into Gmail. This alone is going to disqualify a part of your clients to giving you a review. They will not sign up for a Gmail account. They do not have one, and they're not going to be able to give you a review. That's okay. You can't get them all. But you're going to get enough of them that makes it worthwhile. So where do you go? To set this up, you go to google.com/ and it's actually business. Notice that whole long thing there. I was struggling. When I did it, google.com/business, it took me to my page where I had set up my review. And that's not what I wanted you to see. So it was giving me some challenges, but this is where you're trying to get to. It's Google My Business is the program that you're looking for. And when you set that up, that's where you can then get your reviews. So when you go in, it's going to ask you for the name of the company. It's going to ask you for the address. Now, here's a tip. You have to have a physical address. So what do you do if you work from home? Any thoughts? P.O. box. You get a P.O. box, and what you do is you use the P.O. box address. So whatever the post office box's address, and then you put suite number, whatever the P.O. box number is. If you're in an office where there's multiple attorneys, let's say, you could use suite A, suite B, suite C. But each person has to have a unique address. So that's one thing that you need to know. Google's going to want to know where that address is specifically. Now, there's a box that says, I deliver goods and services to my customers, which means your address will not show on Google. So you can hide the address, but it does need a specific address. It does not take a P.O. box, and especially if you don't want to show your home address, if you're working from home, then you can go ahead and hide it, okay? What kind of business? You can put your business category in there, phone number and website, bless you. And then you're going to finish it off. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to walk through. It's not complicated. Once you've done this, this is what your screen is going to look like. Now, what's neat here is it's pending. It's going to ask to verify it. And typically, there's a couple different verification methods, and Google's been playing around. They used to mail you only. Now there's a couple other ways that they can do verification. But they're going to want to verify your account. Make sure you are who you say you are. What's neat is you can also add your hours, your description, your photos. You can do virtual tours. On the left side, and you can't see this, well, on top, you can create a post. Elizabeth mentioned this. Google's actually made it that you can create a website from this alone. Google loves Google properties. So if you want to get higher rankings in Google for your website in general, you want to play on all Google's properties. And this is one of Google's properties. So you want to make sure to play where Google plays to get the highest ranking. Now, they'll also allow you to do some cool things from this site. You can actually have people call you directly from your Google reviews section. And you can just enable that right here. You can allow chats. Did you know that people can actually chat with you from your Google review section, the Google My Business? And they can chat with you directly to your phone. If you can enable that all from here. It takes a little bit to set up, but once you set up, it's all done. And those are things that I'm sure Elizabeth or any of the other folks that provide those services can help you get set up. It's fairly straightforward. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it's pretty easy to do. So that's really Google reviews. I think it's one of the most powerful tools if you're going to do anything online. This is probably the first one I would tell you to do. So I think we'll open it up to questions.
Yeah, so she wanted an example of something I've done previously for Facebook Live. It was pretty much just discussing a handful of tips around a topic. So the topic would be about maybe Google My Business, and then tips on how to get reviews would be it, and then it would list some tips. And sometimes I've done I've had some writing on a whiteboard. That's pretty much where it's gone with there. I mean, that's a formula you could use, but ideally, since we were so new with it, we didn't get a lot of interaction, so it's kind of like you just talk. It would be someone just talking, but once you grow some of that audience, then you'd want to get some more interaction. You'd want to stop and see if anyone's asking questions, things like that. But mostly it's been tips, and then discussing those in depth. And they've been pretty long, so because I'm trying, I wasn't realizing that you shoot for the 20 minutes, but the longer you can do it, the more likely people are going to jump on and say, hey, what's going on here, and check in.
The question is, on Google reviews, how are the reviews monitored and can you reply to them? And the answer is absolutely, they are monitored. We've even seen cases where if you get too many reviews too fast, Google will actually take away your reviews. So you have to be careful. They have to be authentic. They have to be real. They have to be validatable. And yes, you can reply. I will tell you right now the risk I run is because I have all 5-star reviews. There is a risk that I run that people say they're not authentic. And it's hard to get reviews to begin with. When I ask, I make sure to ask people who've had a good experience. Just saying. Google has a natural filter there, so it's harder for bad reviews to actually come in. Someone will almost have to seek you out to really get you a bad review there. It's not as easy as some of the other platforms. Do you have any comments on this, Elizabeth?
So as far as reviews go, I like to try and keep them authentic, but there's a way you can kind of separate them a little bit. So I use Facebook reviews and Google reviews, and if you have any other platforms that you're paying for that you're on that have review systems. My website actually has reviews on it as well. So for those 3 different pieces, I'll actually separate the people who come to me for different things in business. If I do something for you for free, I send you to review me on Facebook. So if I just help you out and I'm like, hey, review me, like that was fun, whatever. If it's somebody that I've done business with that has spent quite a bit of money, I ask them to do a Google review because chances are I've already set them up a Google account and they have a Google account. And then if somebody has done like a quick website, we do a website in a day, which is kind of our mid-range product, then I actually have them review me on my website. So I kind of separate them into buckets so that the reviews are mostly authentic, and I might get some 4-star reviews or whatever. I actually had one lady review me on Facebook, and she gave me a 1-star review and then wrote a great thing about how wonderful I was. She just clicked the wrong button. So yeah, so which platform is right for which businesses, not just based on age and gender and that kind of thing. Yeah, I would have to say that I definitely, for you specifically, because you're in the business solutions, business services industry, specifically in that industry, I would say LinkedIn would be your probably #1 platform that I would focus on. And then maybe your secondary platform, I would actually push you towards Twitter. I know it's probably not like your favorite thing, but it would be probably the 2 I would recommend. Facebook, I would maybe not do. That's more, if you were an electrician, I'd say Facebook would be awesome. That's where the homeowners are, So it just really depends on the specific business. And if you can find someone or you can do some research on the specifics of who is on which platform, then you'll be able to see those things kind of just jump out at you right away. Pinterest may not be the best platform for you, and Instagram, 35-year-old young women are probably in the fashion sense or whatever. They're probably not your demographic that you're going for. So those are kind of ruling out those things as you go through them. And yes, it is a lot based on age and gender, but it's also based on income levels and, where do they work, and are they in college or are they out of college, or do they have college degrees, and all those things you would see in a demographic sort of sense, also based on psychographics. So if you haven't heard of that, psychographics are really detailed on their lifestyle and their choices of, are they vegan, are they vegetarian, and like those kinds of things, like more lifestyle choices. And psychographics are really going to also help you narrow that down. And yes, you're going to eliminate a lot of social media platforms, but really you're not eliminating them. You're just giving yourself more focus. Do you guys have anything?
Sure. What kind of industry are you in? Office equipment. Yeah, I mean, it's really about where your customers are, and if you're selling equipment to other businesses, yeah, I would double down on LinkedIn, big time. The other part of that workshop was a guy, Daryl Eves. He's probably one of the world's best video marketers. We were very fortunate to get him there, and he just spoke to the VP of video at LinkedIn. LinkedIn's experimenting with a lot of video. If you've been on LinkedIn recently, you see a lot more video in your feed than you did several months ago. And he wouldn't give us any company secrets, but he said if you have any video strategy on LinkedIn, triple down on that, because it's not going anywhere. I think it's in a similar trend to Facebook. So I just shared that little piece of information. But yeah, it's where your customers are, and if they're on LinkedIn, then be just drilling home on that, creating content, posting, liking, commenting, messaging. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of advertising with LinkedIn, but you can send messages to people personally as ads and reach out to them and actually create conversations on the platform.
How often to post on which social medias? That really is a much larger question, kind of going back to which social media should you be on. It really depends on the business, and it really depends on the platform. Instagram, you need to be on that thing multiple times a day. Twitter, you need to be posting multiple times a day. Doesn't mean you have to be physically on there. There's schedulers you can use and things that you can use to streamline your process. But actual half-life, what they call half-life of a post, is different for every platform. And so once you choose which platforms you're going to be on, so really it's business plan first, then find out who your people are, then choose your platform, and then we decide how many times a day to post. And once you figure which platform you're supposed to be on, it's going to really determine how many times you need to post, or what kind of content. Is it video? Is it a post that's written? Is it a question? Is it a graphic? Instagram is only pictures. It's pretty much, that's it. If you have a photo that you've made on some platform, some software that has words in it, that's fine, but it's not actual words written in a post like that. And there's lots of hashtags with Instagram, and you have to know what those are. So once you've picked the platforms that you're best going to be suited for your business, then that really does determine what you're posting and when you're posting. And there's all kinds of strategies for that. And I'm sure that anybody, Mary and other people that are in the group that have, in my industry, are going to be able to help each business determine that, because it's very difficult to kind of weed through all of the craziness that is out there about that.
Having had to do this before and done this for clients, I hated having to plan social media calendars. I cheat. I use a product called Meet Edgar. Meet Edgar is a poster. I post on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I tweet every 20 minutes. If you hit my account, Jack's Cool Stuff, you'll see me tweeting every 20 minutes. On LinkedIn, I post 2 to 3 times a day. On Facebook, it's 2 to 3 times a day. On LinkedIn is a couple times a week. So the speed of the platform also determines how often you post. Twitter, it's super fast, so I tweet every 20 minutes. Again, this is all scheduled. This is not me. Obviously, you haven't seen me. I don't even have my phone here. But if you go onto my account, you will see me posting on Facebook, posting on LinkedIn, posting on Twitter. I like Meet Edgar because you have categories. You can pre-create your content, and it randomizes your content. You need to maintain it. There's work that has to be done. It's not a set it and forget it forever. It's a set it and forget it for maybe 60, 90 days, 30 days, whatever, and then refresh. So there's a strategy there, and folks can help you set that up, but it's a neat little product. It's about $50 a month. I get nothing from it, but I absolutely love it. It's cheaper than hiring an admin to do my work. So yeah, it's easy stuff. So that's my recommendation.